A medium to communicate.
A medium to communicate, correct. A medium of communication. And a language can be any type. It can be a written language, verbal language, or it can be a sign language. We use emojis, right, in WhatsApp or Facebook to just share a smileys. That is also an example of a language, a way or medium of communication. But then next question is, what is a programming language? In FPL1 you studied C, in FPL2 you are going to learn C, Java. So these are programming languages. So language is medium of communication. So what is a programming language?
Set of instructions.
Yes, it is a set of instruction. It is called a program. Set of instruction is called a program. But what is a programming language? It is medium of communication between whom?
Ma'am, a language that is used to understand.
The
Yes,
user and the system.
user and the system. So system that we are going to use to make our task easy. We are developing some apps, softwares to help ourselves. And the machine is going to apply, we are going to give a program and machine is going to execute that program. So it is a communication between user, what user wants, and how it is done by the machine. So it is way of communication between human, that is user or a programmer, and a machine. It's a programming language. So my next question is, can we use natural language for programming? Natural language, I mean, means see, the your mother tongue. For example, English, Marathi, Hindi. Can we use natural language as a programming language? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
No,
No.
not yet, ma'am.
No. Why? Why natural language cannot be used as a programming language?
It is not understood by the computer.
Okay, we can write a compiler or a translator which can translate that language to the machine language, right? Even high level language like C and Java is not understandable by a machine. So we need a compiler or interpreter who can translate that high level language to low level language. So can we write a translator for natural languages? Can you see this example? And what is meaning of this example? Example on a slide, we gave the monkey S1 and the banana S2. S1 is sentence 1 and S2 is sentence 2. So we gave the monkeys because they were hungry, the bananas because they were ripe. Can I replace S1 by S2 and S2 by S1 in this sentence? Who are hungry? Monkeys are hungry. And who were ripe? Bananas were ripe. Can I say that monkeys were ripe and bananas were hungry?
No,
No, ma'am.
Syntactically,
No, ma'am.
syntactically it is correct sentence. You won't get a syntax error. But semantically it is not possible that monkeys are ripe and bananas are hungry, right? So this sentence is meaningless. But as you go with a syntax, the syntax is correct, means program will get compiled, but it won't execute. Natural languages are ambiguous languages. A sentence can have multiple meanings depending upon the context. In which context, in which voice you're saying. For example, I asked you, how are you? So if we met after long time and I'm asking you how are you, you will be glad like yes ma'am, I'm very good, I'm nice, like this. But I know that you have not able to clear any examination and just to tease you, I'm asking you how are you. So you will feel bad, right? Why ma'am is asking me how am I after this failure? So the same sentence can have multiple meanings, different meanings in different contexts. So natural languages are ambiguous languages. That's why we are not able to use natural language for programming. So natural language means it has interfaces for expressing information. We can share our ideas, knowledge, commands, questions, and many more things with the natural language. It is mainly used to facilitate communication between people, right? And different examples of natural languages like English, Chinese, French, German, Marathi, Hindi, and many more. And programming language, it is an interface for expressing data and algorithm. It is basically used for instructing machines what to do. Machines are dumb, and we have to tell the machine what exactly we want, in which sequence we want. So to instruct a machine, we need programming language, facilitate communication between computer and programmers. And different programming languages are uh, Fortran, Pascal, C, C++, Java, Lisp, Scheme, ML, and many more. So question is, why to study programming languages? Any idea? You may say that we have just studied C language. अभी तो पढ़ना सीखा है, and then why you are introducing me with a new programming language? We are already familiar with one. Then why to study new programming language? If you studied Java in second year, we are going to introduce you with Python. Again, the question is, we know C, we know Java. Why to study Python? So why to study programming language? What do you think? I should means you should study many more programming languages. If you have master with one language, it is not sufficient. Why to go for more programming languages? What do you think?
Because there are different applications.
Different applications, right? Or it is like to have multiple weapons with you. You have to solve variety of problems, and every problem should be treated differently. If the problem is very large, you have to deal with a large projects. So C language is not sufficient to deal with multiple platforms and variety of projects. So there you need Java, which supports multiple platforms. So depending upon the problem statement, you should able to choose the correct language. And how to choose a correct language? You should know that language properly. Then you can choose that language. What are the strengths of C? What are the strengths of Java? Where you can go for C, where you can go for Java. Unless and until you studied those languages, features of those languages, characteristics, you are not able to choose the perfect language for the given problem statement. That is the main reason to study programming languages. So what is a programming language? It is a computer language developed by a person, which we know means we call it as a programmer. It's a formal language. As the name says, formal language. So language should have a grammar. It should have strict set of characters. It should not use any other character other than the particular character set. Then set of instructions, set of commands, and it can produce different types of outputs. So it has its own grammar, which is called syntax. Once the language rules, syntax, and structures are finalized, programmer writes a code which is known as source code. And you can write a source code in text editor, or you can use IDE, Integrated Development Environment, to write or to type your program, like Eclipse or NetBeans. This source code is compiled into a machine language, which is low-level language, and the programming language that controls the CPU. So actually, the programming language that communicates with CPU is low-level language or binary language. But we cannot write a program in zeros and ones. So we are writing a program in English like language like C or C++ or Java, which are called high-level languages. So to translate high-level language to the low-level language that computer understands, we need some translator, which is called compiler or interpreter. So we are discussing what is the need of programming language. it used to assist human to communicate their ideas, thoughts in an efficient and effective manner. So programming language, how to make your ideas efficient and effective with the help of algorithm and flowchart. You can choose a perfect algorithm or a efficient algorithm for your program. For example, have you studied sorting, bubble sort or something, arrays? Have you worked on arrays in FPL1? Learn the concept of arrays.
Yes, ma'am.
You know the concept of sorting. If the numbers are even, so for example 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, and you have to make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ascending or descending, arrange the numbers or alphabets in a particular sequence, it is called sorting. So there are number of algorithms you are going to learn in data structure 1 in second year. So there are different algorithms, like there is a bubble sort, shell sort, insertion sort, merge sort, quick sort. You just type sorting algorithms in a Google, and you may find more than 100 algorithms for sorting. So which sorting algorithm to choose for suppose you want to sort your the students with respect to C number of your class. So your class strength is say 68. So which algorithm will be efficient for the class of 68? Now suppose I want to sort the students with C number of entire computer department. So entire computer department has say 231 students. So can I use the algorithm which I use for 68 students to sort the elements or numbers of 231 students? If I want to sort the number of students based on their, say again, grades or college level. So in college level, there are say 2000 students. So once I'm increasing the scaling factor, and the same algorithm, if I apply on the set of 60, then 260, and then 2000, and then 20,000, then 2 lakhs, the same algorithm may not be that efficient as it was for small set. So once the set is increased, you have to change your algorithm. You have to use the efficient algorithm, make it more efficient. So selecting that algorithm will make your program more efficient. So the main need is how to choose the algorithm, how and which programming language to choose. Should I go for functional programming, object-oriented programming, or procedural programming? Again, it depends upon nature of a problem that I am trying to solve it. So there are different ways to solve one problem, that is called logic. You might have heard this word logic building. So to solve a particular problem, if I tell you these 5 steps, start your machine, then take number A, take number B, add these 2 numbers and print the result. Is there any logic? No, you are accepting 2 numbers, adding it and producing the result. There is no logic. But if I ask you, for example, yes, Shruti, you are right. There are some limitations in some language, and another language can overcome those limitations. So we should know what are the pros and cons, what are the advantages and disadvantages of one language over other language. So I'll give you one example. I have 2 numbers, A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 20. You can see the cat box. And I want to swap these values. For example, if I print A, I should get 20, and when I print B, I should get 10. So I want to swap these values from A to B. Note that you can use temporary variable. You can store value of A in temp, then value of B in A, then value of temp in B. That is with the help of temp variable. But here I didn't want to use temp variable. Now, can you able to solve this problem without using a third variable?
Yes, ma'am. By pointers method.
Pointers?
Yes, ma'am.
No, here I am not
Yes.
using pointer.
We can.
In pointers also, you need a temp variable. Without that, you are not able to do it. So if you have only one solution, that means there is no logic. I'm providing you with a solution. But when I'm asking you to find different ways to solve the problem, that is the logic. So I want this answer. Can solve this. What, you understood what I want? I want value of A should be 20 and value of B should be 10 without using third variable. Don't use third variable. You can use any operation, that is the hint. You can try it in next lecture. I'll explain you how to swap these numbers without
Ma'am,
using.
I have a solution.
Yes, Gaurika, you have the answer.
Ma'am, yes, we can write A is equals to A plus B and B is equals to A minus B and A is equals to A minus B.
A is equal to A plus B. Right?
Yes,
So A is equal to A plus B means value of A will be now 30.
30.
Then next is
B is equals to A minus B.
B is equal to A minus B. So what is value of B? 20. And A minus B, that is 30 minus 20 is 20. Sorry, 10. So now B became 10. And then
Ma'am,
A
last,
is equal to A minus B. So A will be now 30 minus 10, which is 20.
oh, ma'am. Ma'am, A is equals to A plus B, so yes, A will be 30. Then B is equals to A minus B, so 30 minus 10, 20. So B will become 20 in one
So yes,
sixth step. You have written B is equals to 10.
A is A plus B, so A is 30. B is A, that is 30 minus 20. B is, initial value of B is 20. So B
10.
will be 10.
Initial value of B is 10. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
it is
this one.
20. So 30 minus 20 is 10.
Yes,
We are
ma'am.
doing
No,
imaginary.
ma'am.
Correct only.
Initial value of B is 10.
A is 10 and B is 20. And what I want is A is 20 and B is 10.
So, ma'am, we got that only.
So I'm getting it.
Ah.
No. Try it, it's simple. You can get the solution. You'll get a solution, no problem. So programming language help human to express their opinions, plans with a precision in a concise manner. It lacks ambiguity and vagueness. So this is the main reason why we are not using natural languages for programming. Natural languages has ambiguity. Ambiguity means more than one meaning, and vagueness means instead of writing just print hi, we can, means in natural language there can be multiple words, lines, sentences will get added unnecessarily. That is vagueness. But programming languages are concise. It is limited to the, there is no ambiguity. Programming language should not be ambiguous. Once I said print A plus B, it has to print addition only, not multiplication or division. So, and meaning of plus should be addition. In any, whatever the value you pass for A or B, it should print addition. So that means unambiguous. Automation, what is meaning of automation? Automatically, for example, you have done a code for 5 numbers, so you can give any 5 numbers and it will sort those 5 numbers. So that is automation. Single repeatable outcome. So once a program is ready, once it is compiled, it is ready to run, you can repeat it n number of times for various inputs and you'll get different outputs. Role of programming language in a programming. What is the role of programming language? It is machine independent. You didn't have to learn what is the architecture, which operating system on you are working on, what is the CPU, how many CPUs are there, i3, i4, i5, i7, etc. We are least bothered when, as a programmer, I'm not considering what is the hardware of my system. So programming language should be machine independent. Meaning of portability is write once, run everywhere. Means you can write a program on one machine and it is portable. Means you can port it, you can copy it from one machine, you can play it on different machines and it should produce the same output. For example, if I open google.com on my laptop and if I open google.com on my mobile, if I open that in my desktop or on my tab, it should show me the same screen. Our GUI should look like exactly same. It should not be different for different machines. So that is platform independence or portability. Reuse, this is the main feature of programming language. Programming language should be reusable, means your effort should not get wasted. Once you created a code, that code should be, you should able to use that code for other things. Means for, if I created a code or a class, say student, for my division, so I should able to use that class student for the computer department or for FY computers, the complete FY computer, ABC divisions like this. So it should be the reusable code. Have you used Paint utility from Windows? Paint or calendar or clock? You go for any Windows version, you will able to see Paint, calendar, clock. These are the utilities, and these are available with Windows since Windows 98, then 2000, 2003. All versions of Windows has those utilities. So that is reuse. We'll deal with other options like abstraction, communication, productivity, reliability in the next session. I'll explain you what is meaning of abstraction. Okay, we'll stop here, and I'll request you to go to the Moodle class and complete your attendance. And the password for attendance is introduction. You need a password. I is capital.
मैम ये PDF आप शेयर करने